Good afternoon. Today is July 17th, and I'm calling to order the Knox County Beer Board. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Lundy,
Here.
Commissioner Durant,
Here.
Commissioner Oster,
Here.
Commissioner Ward,
Here.
Commissioner Schoolmaker,
Here.
Commissioner Hill,
Here.
Commissioner Lee,
Here.
Commissioner Beeler,
Here.
Commissioner Daly, Commissioner Jay, Commissioner Frazier.
Present.
10 members present.
Thank you. We could all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and that will be done by David Book, our Law Director. All right, looking at item 3, could I have a motion, please, for approval of the minutes? Motion by Ward, second by Oster. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. I would like to add a caveat at this point if there's no objection. Commissioner Daly has asked we have number 7, a discussion item, added about the state inspection on beer permits. So seeing no objection, that will be added to our agenda. All right, I will turn it over to you, Mr. Booth. Thank you. Are there any questions? All right, moving on to applications.
Okay, 5A is Archer Barbecue, 1301 East Emory Road, on and off premises, District 7.
Thank you. Are you here for Archers?
I'm here. I'm Archer.
All right. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great.
I eat at your establishments frequently. I'm glad to see you here.
I'm sorry. I have a little trouble hearing you.
I like your barbecue.
Well, thank you. I just opened a steakhouse too called Fire and Smoke. It's
Free
It's
advertising.
at North Shore and Pellissippi.
If you would please give us your name and your county of residence, please.
William Archer Bagley III. I live at 819 Sanford Day Road, 37919.
Thank you. I'll turn this over now to Director Book.
Okay, sir, could you pull that microphone a little closer to you there you go.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to ask you a series of questions that's required under state law. They're just yes or no answers. Are you a resident of the state of Tennessee?
Yes, sir.
Is the information on the application you have submitted current and accurate?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand you shall make no beer sales to minors?
Yes, sir.
Have you or any of your employees at this location been convicted of any violation of the laws against possession, sale, manufacture, or transportation of intoxicating liquor or a crime involving moral turpitude within the past 10 years?
No, sir.
Has beer ever been sold at this location?
No, sir.
So there's no outstanding license, obviously. Is this an application?
It used to be an old school bus depot.
Oh, okay.
And we're building it out. It was the old school bus depot, and Bombshell Salon's half, and we're taking the other half of that.
Okay, good deal. Is Is this an application for on-premises, on and off-premises, or off-premises sale?
Yes, sir.
Which one? Which one? Are you gonna sell beer on premises for drinking on premises?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then you will also be able to take them off premises?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you own the premises?
I do not.
What's your relationship to the property owner?
She's my landlord. Her name's Kara Kuntz. She also owns Bombshell Salon and the barber shop next door.
Okay, so you're leasing it, correct?
Yes, sir.
Does anyone else have an interest in your business?
No, sir. I own 100%.
Okay, who will operate the business?
I will.
Are you familiar with the Knox County and Tennessee beer laws and regulations, and do you agree to conduct your business in conformity with them?
Yes, sir.
Have you completed a server training program?
Yes, sir.
All right. Reports, Sheriff,
No concerns.
codes,
Pending CO.
Fire Marshal.
Pending CO.
Okay. And there's an outstanding, and I'll let the chairman talk to you about the health department and what you need to do on that. So with that, I will turn it over to the chairman.
Thank
you.
you. Mr. Archer, we've not received a permit from the health department yet. Have you been in discussion with them?
We're still building it out. It's not built. It's not ready yet.
All right, excellent. That's
I've been
exactly.
through this before a number of times.
I know you have. That's exactly what we needed to know. Thank you. Are there any questions about this before I turn it over to Ms. Frazier? Seeing none, Ms. Frazier?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Motion to approve application pending CO.
See, and the health department needs to be.
And the Health Department, yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, that's a motion by Frazier, second by Oster. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Look
Okay,
forward to
thank
having
you.
you open up.
All right. Y'all have a
Thank
great
you,
day.
sir.
Next one is 6A, and that's Corner Store. The owner is Nancy Patel, and it's a first offense, June 29th, 2023.
District 8.
I'm so sorry. Good afternoon, Commission. My name is Melissa Dorado with the Knox County Bar, here with Miss Nancy Patel today.
Thank you. And your residence, please, county of residence,
Knox County,
for both of you.
yes.
Thank you. Go ahead.
As your Commission is aware, Ms. Patel was cited at the end of June for a sale to a minor without checking ID. She was cited by the Sheriff's Department. That has since gone to Sessions Court, that has been disposed of as of this morning with a dismissal.
Oh, we'll make that happen.
I'm happy to yield to the Sheriff's Department if they'd like to go first. That's no problem.
The way we usually handle these is you stated your name and the business address, and the sheriff will give his statement as to what happened with regard to the sale. You then can admit or deny that, and if you admit it, then you will have a chance to have your say to this board as to.
Yes, sir. We'll yield to the Sheriff's Department. Thank
Okay,
you.
Go ahead, Sheriff.
On June 29, 2023, officers Knox County Sheriff's Office conducted a compliance check at the corner store 10508 Rutledge Pike. The defendant did sell an underage alcoholic beverage, a White Claw, to the underage person after checking their ID.
Okay, do you admit or deny those allegations?
We do admit with an explanation, please.
Okay.
Ms. Patel has opened that store at the end of June. She was just before this body to receive her permit. She has been very grateful that Knox County has been so supportive of her store. It happened to be an incredibly busy day, and the ID that she was presented with, they do have the scanning capabilities to scan that barcode. For whatever reason, that barcode wasn't reading into the system. And so Ms. Patel went to manually enter that birth date into the system, and she just miskeyed it. It was an absolute mistake on her part. She absolutely acknowledges that. And in the interim, she has completed an additional TABC course. I have that certificate if the chair would like it. And so she has tried to take this as a learning opportunity that regardless of how busy that store is, She absolutely needs to slow down, make sure that every single digit is checked and double checked, especially when we have a card that does not scan. And so those are the circumstances we'd ask this commission to consider. She is very grateful that that store is doing well, but obviously that comes with the tremendous responsibility of carrying that permit. She understands that. And so we are before this body asking for some consideration to allow her to continue to operate. And like I said, I can provide that additional TABC card that she received last week if that would be helpful.
Thank you. Thank you for providing that. Mr. Schoonmaker?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Is Ms. Patel aware that in the state of Tennessee, that if you're under 21 years of age, the driver's license looks like this? If you're over 21, it's this way. The state did that to make it easy for store owners. They made it idiot-proof. So is she aware that if it comes in like this to not ever sell beer, you don't even need to scan it? Is she aware of that? Plus, there's also a red bar across it as well.
She is aware of those things, Commissioner, and she is now duly informed as to taking that secondary class. And I will say that she came to this country legally. English is her second language, and so unfortunately there are some times where her language barrier is not to her benefit, and I think that may have been one that it was helpful for her to hear all of those explanations a second time through her second course that she took, so that she duly understood that that is the easy, no nonsense way to make sure that this does not happen again.
Okay, and then the other thing is when we issue a beer permit and then they violate it 9 days later, I mean, the community finds that unacceptable.
And I think Ms. Patel would be the first person to say that she is very disappointed to have had to come back here at all. And so I hope that in the steps that she has taken, there are only 2 employees at that store, herself and one other person. They have reviewed their protocols. They have reviewed that their standard has to be 100% compliance, or this just isn't going to work, and she certainly understands that.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll turn this over to Mr. Beeler. Are you willing to take this?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I do commend Ms. Patel for operating a business in the 8th District. We like to see businesses thriving in the 8th District. However, I do echo my colleagues' concerns about the 9 days, and I think it is true the community would be, quite disappointed in that. And, in keeping with our protocol, I am going to offer a motion that we follow our precedent on first offenses. However, if there is a second offense, especially in a short period of time, I don't think this body will be disposed to be quite as lenient as we normally would. Maybe lenient's not the right word, but we might have to break precedent if a second offense occurs
Sure.
in too short a time. So I will offer a motion that we impose a 30-day suspension of the beer license or a $1,000 fine, whichever the owner would prefer.
Ms. Patel would appreciate the commission's leniency and appreciation of the understanding of her circumstances. She'd be happy to pay that fine.
So my motion, Madam Chair, is a $1,000 fine.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you. We have a motion for a $1,000 fine by Mr. Beeler, second by Mr. Schoonmaker. Is there any more discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Have a nice day.
Next item.
Next one is Moheen, and that's at 8001 Millertown Pike, and that's District 8 also.
Hi.
Hi. If you would introduce yourself, please, and your county of residence.
I'm Knox County, and my name is Preeti Patel for Mohaning.
Thank you. Hold on a minute. Yeah. If you would pull the microphone down a little closer to you, and if you could please spell your name, it would be helpful.
Sure, it's Preeti, Priti, Patel, Patel.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Mr. Book? Thank you. I was going to let Mr. Book call in the sheriff's office. Thank you.
On June 29th, Knox County Sheriff's Office conducted an underage alcohol compliance check at Ellistown Market, 8001 Millertown. The underage person was able to purchase a White Claw, and the clerk did not check the ID.
Okay, you have the right to either admit or deny these allegations. If you admit them, then you will be able to address this board however else you want to add to it. So do you admit or deny the sheriff's allegations?
So I just tell like every employee is like you check every time, and I
Well,
just
hold
that's
on. First, step one, you just either admit or deny what the sheriff has said. Did somebody sell beer to?
yes, yes,
You admit that.
yes.
Okay, now you can tell this board whatever else you want to tell them.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't know, but I just tell every time, and like every single time I like always is a new employee. I just like 3-4 days I just stay with there, and I just check like they check ID every time, but I'm not sure what happened. They have like family issue or something like that, and he's in mind or something that time, not in a sense or something, I don't know. But he tell me like I have like family something problem, so maybe he's not a check ID or I don't know. But normally he check every time. This is my first time is like happen. I have like mostly every time I have like employee check the ID and everything. So
All right.
maybe he's like do on a mistake because I'm not sure, but he told me like he has a family issue, and it's something is I don't know, but he's like mind that no at that time is not sub.
All right.
So I'm not sure, but he check every time. I'm just
All right. Thank you. Thank you for that explanation. Are there any questions? Seeing none, I'll turn this over to Mr.
he give me
Beeler.
a later too, so I just apologize Lord later or something, so he not do again or something. But
I'm sorry. I didn't understand what you were saying.
it's like he give me a later, just that's a by mistake or something. So
Oh, apologizing.
yeah, apologize
All right.
later. So
Thank you, Mr. Beeler.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Has the employee that sold the alcohol to the underage person, has that employee taken a server training program?
he just working on right now because he just like not even 1 month, so he just started and is like in a process. So
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Well, no, he shouldn't. I mean, I would assume that employee needs to complete that training course before they sell any
Yes,
more
yes,
alcohol.
yes.
Okay. Well, I see your permit was issued in 2021, so you've made it a lot more than 9 days. So I do love your store, by the way. I come in there about 3 times a week. Not to buy beer, I actually buy Ghost, which you can't see. It's in the Gatorade.
I'm sure I just always
Yeah,
do.
no, it's all good. But again, it's obviously not a laughing matter, and I would just encourage you, please take every measure you can to make sure this doesn't happen again. This is a community establishment, as we know, and these things tend to attract a lot of underage traffic if kids think they can get it.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
So what I'll offer a motion, Madam Chair, that we impose a $1,000 fine or a 30-day suspension of the license, whichever the owner would like.
I pay the fine.
Okay, that's my motion then, $1,000 fine.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor by Beeler, second by Ward, to accept the $1,000 fine. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next agenda item.
And we added to agenda the discussion of the state inspection beer permit.
Thank you. This was an item added by Mr. Daly. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, Mr. Law Director, have you and Mr. Moyers had a discussion about this by chance?
Can't recall that we have. What
All right.
what precisely is it that?
I've had a discussion with Mr. Moyers. Last month, we approved a beer permit for John Sevier Highway. The holdup was he could not sell his business because the state of Tennessee would not go out and inspect until the transaction was completed, which is totally wrong. And so it held up the sale for days. And I asked Mr. Moyers to check into it, and I'm not putting any words in his mouth because he's not here, but it's my understanding that we can't issue a beer permit even if the state does not send in that letter of inspection. We can issue that according to our ordinance. So we might need to take this discussion up next month. Because we can't hold, even though I don't drink beer, and I wished it was never invented as far as I'm concerned, but we cannot hold up a business from being sold or open because the state of Tennessee don't want to go and do a health inspection.
I agree with that, and I don't know why it got turned away from the health department to the state. It's because as soon as you get the bureaucracy of the state, you're exactly right, and it's not fair, in my opinion. And I don't know why we can't get it back with the health department, because they can act as they used to do and sit down there and say yay or nay. And I don't know the answer and how to get around that, and I don't know why it got transferred to the state. Anything to do with the state is just bureaucratic mess.
Mr.
Commissioner Schoonmaker says we're the only county in the state that did that.
Mr. Schoonmaker?
Yeah, in other words, the state of Tennessee allowed the Knox County Health Department to do their inspections for them under a contract, but we were the only county in Tennessee that did it, and that's why they took it back over under their wings. Am I correct, Kathy?
It's new to me too.
Yeah, that's what I understood from
Yeah.
talking to.
I don't think any of us knew until it just.
Yeah, just to
appeared.
happen. Yeah.
Mr.
Oh,
I'm sorry, were you finished?
whenever I have a question for Mr. Daly.
All right. Mr. Daly, do you have a suggestion or a recommendation?
Well, Mr. Moyer said that we could go ahead if that comes up again. He thinks that we, according to our ordinance, we can approve the beer permit. And the state, it's up to the state to go out and do the inspection. If we approve the beer permit, the sale can go through. Okay? Then if the state goes out, and which we sound like we need to try to get it back, if the sale goes through and inspection fails, it's on the new owner. You know, the new owner has got the property. It's up to him to repair or whatever they've got to do at that point in time. But they're not going to close on the sale without that permit. Selling with that permit, they're not going to close on the sale. And I can understand why. I wouldn't want to buy a piece of property that it's now selling beer just because I have to purchase it and then turn around and wait for an inspection that may or may not pass. I need to know that up front. And that's only fair.
All right. Mr. Schoonmaker?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So in other words, it was a contingency sale. Okay, so, but if we issue a beer permit to somebody, is it the state doesn't want to come out till they actually own that property?
Yep, that's why we were
That's
told.
what it
they
is.
have to own
Yeah,
the
I can
property.
see that. I can see that.
I don't know if the sheriff's office knows anything, or probably not, so. Yeah, that's what I was told, so that's what
I
Mr.
can see
Moyers
that.
is looking into, so. And it sounds like if we can
Because
get
you-
it back, we were better off. And it's confusing, you know, does the state do convenience stores that sell food, or health department does restaurants, or, you know, which is which, and who determines which is which? It's confusing.
Yeah, because the state can't then issue it to the former owner and then have that transferred, I don't think. So that's the problem.
Mr.
Well, the
Booth?
health department still goes in, has jurisdiction over the eating establishments. I mean, there's no question about that. They can pass or not pass or close down an eating establishment. That's strictly within the county.
Madam Chair, I suggest you put that on the agenda next month. We'll have, I'll give Mr. Moyers and the law director a chance to research and see what we can do, but we can't hold a business up.
I'd be happy to do that and understand that you have already talked with Mr. Moyers, and so he is aware that this is information that we will be looking for. Is that correct? All right. Yes, sir. We can certainly do that. Any other comments? Seeing none, there are no further items on the agenda. I call for adjournment.